Hi, everyone. This is the Web Radio Network's Explaining the Unexplainable, and I am here with my amazing guest host down below, Mr. Bishop, Dr. Joshua Sparks. There
Hey
he is
everybody. Good to see
with his
everybody tonight.
with his awesome background. I love, and
Thank you.
we you guys are really cool. And then we have our amazing guest, Becky McKiddy-Gydesen. So, Becky McKiddy-Gydesen, hello there.
Hello, how are you
Hey
tonight?
Becky.
Very good. And we are excited to have you on with us. And Becky is with the Tucson Ghost Society. Actually, she is the leader of that. She's the leader of the Tucson Ghost Society, the Tucson Ghost Company. She is the author, brand new author of I'm Paranormal. It's brand new out right now. And we are excited for her. We wanted to have her come on and talk with us. And she's a friend of mine. I was actually on her show last night. So that was a lot of fun for me. And we are ready to roll that bean footage. Hey, that was easy. Okay, so this right here is I'm Paranormal. And that is her brand new book, and you can get that on Amazon right now. Just put in Becky McKiddy-Gydesen, and there it pulls up. And she's also has the it's a Kindle book. So you have two versions right now, and pretty soon she'll have it on Barnes and Noble, is what I heard. And let's go to the next photo. I mean, next bean photo. Oh, and look, that is a picture of Joe, my husband, and me and Becky. And this was at our last investigation that we're at the house. It was last year, and they brought their team here and did a paranormal investigation. And they've been coming to our house. We talked about this last night for 5 years. We've we've been having consistent investigations with paranormal activity out here. So thank you. Roll the next photo. Oh my goodness. So this is a live photo that I took when they were doing the investigation in the cabin. And Becky hasn't seen these. I don't think I've shared them yet, but
No.
there was a reporter out at this particular time with them, and Becky and the team had everything set up in the cabin. That was the main focus, I believe, that night. And I think they did some other areas, but we had a lot of I think we had some some animal noises on the one side, and we talked about that last night, didn't we, Becky? Like,
Yes.
kind of get used to all the animals. Okay, and then there's one more. Let's see. I think we got another one possibly. If not, that's good. Maybe that's the last one. But I actually had those ready for us for last night, but I was talking so much I forgot to say roll the bean footage. So so Becky, when you see those images, I mean, I kind of want to just backtrack a little bit. Now, we wanted to go ahead and get those images out first and show people, but I have hundreds of those pictures and I have videos, films. There's a documentary that hopefully is out soon that will feature Becky and the team and what they've done for our family and how they've helped us. So, with that said, I want to kind of bring in Bishop Joshua too. I know he's probably got a couple of things he might want to say. You've been on with us once before, Becky, and we really had Bishop Joshua really liked you back then, didn't you, Joshua?
Absolutely. Sure did. I'm looking forward to tonight. It's always been one of my goals to, as an exorcist and as a bishop, to bring the religious portion of what we do alongside of the paranormal researchers because we need each other. And there's a lot of stigma surrounding the relationship between the two. And I think that we can use this podcast as a means to break down those barriers because we need to work together. And I think Becky is one of the leading people in the paranormal community who I feel that connection to. And there's several others, but I think that Becky is a perfect spokeswoman for the paranormal community. And I think that we need to continue to build on this relationship together.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And she's this, I mean, her whole family, Joshua, is I mean, her husband, I always am not texting him, but I see what he does and how he messages about her on Facebook. And I've got to say, William, I know you might be watching. You are one heck of a great husband and father to those children and your family. And I bet you're just so blessed to have um, your family. And I know that, I mean, it's not always perfect. Everything's not always perfect, but you are blessed in many ways with your abilities, because you're just not an investigator. You are very in tune. You're very much a seer or a hearer. You're very in tune with what you're doing, and then I do believe that you have a strong, constitution, strong faith. I don't want to say, what is what, but I do believe that. I believe that there's a goodness in her, Joshua, a real goodness in her. And
You can see it.
I don't know if all paranormal people are like that. I mean, from what I can see, there's a lot of different types of people involved in paranormal investigation, but not all of them are like this or us or whatnot. So it's a variety. Hint,
Yes.
hint. We were talking about the one ghost show that is on still. Well, apparently they're all not really on, and I didn't say anything, but there is one ghost show that's still on, and maybe they aren't not as so much like that. So anyway, I don't want to over talk, but um, Joshua, did you have some questions or anything for Becky?
Well, of course, I think that what happens is we lose the ability to stay fresh when things get old, and I think that we become stale and stagnate. And when we think we've done everything, then we stop doing anything. And I think that's the problem within the paranormal religious community. And I'm so grateful to see that Becky's still pushing forward, because there's no victory in not pushing forward. That next investigation you do, or that next feeling of discernment that you get, could be the very thing that creates a spectrum in the realm of what we do to cause there to be a revival, if you will, of people who's interested in talking about the things that we talk about. So the reason I said that is I was sitting here thinking about it. What is it that drives you, Becky? What is it that keeps you motivated and passionate about what you're doing?
Well, there are times that I do want to give up. I will admit that I almost quit at the end of last year, because it's not only my paranormal team, it's my company. And unfortunately, a lot of people are in this field for fame, to get rich, to steal from each other. It is a cutthroat, field. Not everyone is honest. They all want that 5 minutes of fame. But I've been overshadowed a lot by nationwide companies moving in, taking over, the tours, and that kind of weighs you down, and it kind of makes you say, I give up. And I was at that point, but it's still, I no matter how often I get to that point, something keeps me in it. It's just the fact that I still have questions. I still feel like I need to help. I still feel like I need to make a difference. And, getting my book out was one of the first ways I could do it. And even though I'm very nervous about it being out, it's true stories. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not faking anything. I'm not going overboard with what I'm writing about. It's all real. And, I'm hoping that other people see that this can be a real thing and not just an entertainment type field. And I think that's kind of what keeps me more motivated right now.
I love that you brought that up, because you can tell if it's got the entertainment feel to it. Like you said, 5 minutes of fame. And a lot of people, I think you'll agree with me too, Becky and Mercedes both. A lot of people start out with the desire to help people that are distressed, or families that are frightened or oppressed or confused. And I think that they start out good, but like you said, money and fame and popularity and and likes and views and all those things kind of go to people's heads, and they forget the whole mission as to why they started doing what they're doing. And if we just keep it about people and keep it about love and keep it about really trying to help people find answers to their questions, explain the unexplainable. I think it kind of keeps us motivated, because when you help one person, that really that's like rekindling the fire inside of my soul, and I know it is for you too. And I'm just glad to see that you pushed on, because you have so much to offer and so much to give to the world, and your voice needs to be heard. And that's kind of my belief system about it. Even if people disagree on things, everybody has a right to be their authentic self, and everybody has a right to do what makes them happy. And if I can be a sounding board for someone to help them get their message out to the world, then I want to do that, because I know what it's like to feel like the underdog. I know what it's like to feel like you're passed over. But as long as I've got breath in my body, I'm going to make sure that people have the opportunity to do what they desire to do, and do it freely and without judgment, and have a place where they can come talk about it. So I'm glad that you're continuing on with your work, because your work's touched a lot of people. So why don't we talk about the book a little bit? I'm anxious to hear about
it. It's, to be honest, I was under contract to write it. Oh gosh, like 5 to 7 years ago. I can't even remember how long ago it was. And I started it out because I was approached. Funny story is I've never went seeking anything. When it came to what I'm doing right now, I did not go out seeking any of it. And I kind of talk about that in my book. It all came to me. And that included writing a book. I got contacted by email saying, hey, do you want to write Haunted Tucson? And of course, I don't, want to pass by any opportunity, because it's new adventure to go on. And so I said, sure, I'll do it. And I started writing the book. And I was, you have to, when you're under contract, turn so much in, at certain dates. And I would do it. And they would be like, okay, well, let's switch this around, and let's talk about this more, and let's do this. And like one story in particular is about Slaughterhouse here in Tucson. And if anyone knows the stories of Slaughterhouse here in Tucson, there is a story that is not true at all about an uncle putting the kids in a meat grinder, and they're his like niece and nephew, and killing them. There is no truth to that story at all. And the version will change. Sometimes it's an uncle, sometimes it's a father. It changes, but there's no truth to that story at all. And I wrote about that in the book, and I put that how there's no truth to this story. And they wanted me to leave that part out. They're like, oh, you don't have to say that. Just, let people assume or whatever. And I'm like, I can't do that. That's not me. I have to be clear that there's no truth to this. And they're like, no, don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, I am worried about it. So after going back and forth with them a few times over this, I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't write the way you want me to write, because I want to be completely truthful in my findings. And so I broke the contract. But I already had the book going. I already had so much of it done. And it kind of got put on a back burner because I kind of got discouraged. And then back in, according to Kira last night on our show, I contacted May and Kira summer of 2024 and said, you know what, let's move forward with the book. And I've been working on it ever since. And, because I would touch on it here and there. And so finally, they, added what they needed to do, corrected things. And it was, sitting there again. And between Will, Kira, and May, they all said, you know what, just publish it. It's never going to be perfect to you. You're too picky. Just publish it. So I got it published. I am very picky. It is about all my personal experiences. It's about how I got started. I talk about cases. Mercedes, I do talk about your case in here, but I left you unnamed because I didn't name any of my residential cases out of respect for the residents. And it shows how I literally grew up paranormal. I've had paranormal experiences my entire life. I've admitted things in this book that I've never admitted to anyone else in the world. Now the whole world will know it if they read the book. I I never, and Mercedes will know this because when she approached me about investigating, I told her we don't use psychics, we don't use sensitives, we don't use any of that. We are scientific based. But in this book, I do admit that I am all those things. Um, I have turned it off, and I know I turned it off. I know that was a personal choice to turn it off. Um, but every once in a while, I think the spirits know that I turn it off and they like to attach themselves to me because of it. But I talk about that. I talk about some of the things that happened when I was a kid that scared me because I predicted it and I knew it was going to happen. But some of the times it saved me too. My knowledge and those gut feelings saved me, and I'm still alive because of them. So
I think it's
eh,
going to be interesting to read the book. I was going to order it today, but I got so busy. But I can still order it tonight while I'm on this computer. I'll do that after the show because I really want to. But even just hearing about that right there, Becky, is because you don't really share those things.
I don't.
The bad things that have happened. I know that there have been, but you don't really talk about them. So I think that's good to be able to share. I know I've had to do it, and it's very bizarre sharing these things to people. Hearing about what's happened to our lives or whatever. But that's very interesting. And Joe worked for the slaughterhouse. He was one of the partners in
Yeah, I
that.
remember you guys talking
Yes,
about that.
for like
Yeah.
10 years or whatever. So
So
I'd
he knows
say,
there's no truth to that story.
I don't think he was even paying attention to things like even though it was a haunted location, I don't think he was really paying attention to any of it. He was just doing sets and things like that, whatever they were doing. But yeah, so I think it's good that you stood up for that and didn't go along with um the what is it, propaganda or whatever,
Yeah.
the lies. So yeah.
The let's make it more entertaining.
And now
Well,
here it
that's
is. It's now you're here and it's the right timing. It is the right timing for it.
I hope so.
it's the same way in the recording studio. When you go into a studio, I play drums, and they you have your idea of how you think the song ought to sound, and even if it's your own song, they say, "No, you got to do this lick, or you got to hit the cymbal this time, or you can't use that particular drum fill. It doesn't sound right." I'm like, "Listen, pal, we wrote the song. Who are you to tell me?" And besides, I'm paying you to come in here and record. So we stopped going places like that. We record our own stuff now, but you
Yeah.
know, it's best to be truthful. And I'm glad you stuck up for yourself. I'm glad that you didn't let nobody push you around. And now, will you all do me a favor? What is the slaughterhouse? I mean, when I hear of a slaughterhouse, I'm a country boy, so I'm thinking
It
about a place where you kill cows and
it
stuff
was.
like that. Oh,
It,
okay,
it
it was
was
okay.
it was at one time. It was and when you drive by it there's a big fence and it's got all these happy cows on the side. But it was a long time ago. All of that was, cattle and Becky's real good. Becky loves history too, so we're both history people. But yeah, all that used to be a lot of cattle ranches and stuff. And then Becky, you go ahead and tell the people.
It ended up being like a Farmer John's market, like a marketing place and store type thing. So yes, they did, have the slaughterhouse. I hate that word. But
Sounds so dark, doesn't it?
yeah,
And
it does, and I hate
And
it.
it's there. It's there. I mean, like part of it's that's still there. It's like where they had the pins at. So it's like a big sort of buildings everywhere. And then there's the parts. I think whatever happened, like Becky's saying, whatever happened, that would have been on the farm, right? So that would have been something from history,
Yeah.
but it didn't
Um,
happen.
and then what ended up happening was, when the meat market and all that went out, it sat empty for quite some time. And then apparently Joe helped with, bringing the haunted house to that area. And
Yeah,
for the longest time, it was a haunted house.
yeah.
Now we don't know what's going to happen to it because,
It's been sold, and I was over there the
yeah,
other day driving because I had to come out of my class doing my class, and that's where they're building a casino. So they've taken that, they bought that property and are making it part for the casino. So I'm like, look over there. I'm like, there's a casino right there.
Yeah,
Worth
yeah.
it.
I knew the
Yes.
casino owns it now. We're just not sure what they're going to do with that part of the building because this casino's built across the street.
Yeah. It's a
So I don't
parking.
know what
Yeah.
they're going to do. A
It's a
parking lot? I
parking
don't know.
lot. Yeah. That's what Joe found out from the owners or whatever. But
Well,
anyway,
maybe they'll change the name of the casino to Slaughterhouse.
oh, it's
No, they're
crazy.
always named the same thing. It's always Casino del Sol or Desert Diamond. Every single casino we have, there's like what, 3 Casino del Sols?
I
And my
know.
husband and Will and I were talking about that the other day because it's like they're not original with their names. It's all Casino del Sol or it's all Desert Diamond. And we're like, what if you want to get together with your friends and you say, meet me at Casino del Sol? They're guessing which one.
Right.
Is that
Right.
1, 2, or 3?
Yeah, but
that
yeah,
is
that one's a
Hey,
Casino del Sol.
We
That
have a
is going
casino
in.
here in Ashland now, so I feel like we're moving up in the world. We got a casino.
You? Wow.
Yeah. So it's not very big, and they're building a big horse racing track up on the hill, so people can go in there and drink away their problems and waste all their money.
Yep, pretty
But
much.
hey, it keeps the economy going, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
I've
Becky,
never been one to gamble, so I wouldn't know.
yeah, I don't
Even
gamble.
when I go to Vegas, I think the most I gamble is like maybe $10, and that's just to try my luck type thing. I don't gamble. I go to see the sights.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Well, tell us about your new. So you have had some, and I applaud you for this because I believe that we can do all things, lots of things we could do. Bishop Joshua is perfect, meaning that we are doing a lot of different variety of things. You're back in school. You're back in school. So talk about that too.
It's driving me nuts.
It's only 2 weeks. It's like 2 weeks.
I'm on my 4th week.
Oh, 4
but the classes are 5 weeks long. So
Okay.
it's very rushed and it's very throw everything at you. And I keep saying, I'm going to lose my mind because between the business, the team, trying to promote my new book, still, have my family and, being there for them. And, I still do a podcast and now schooling. I'm like, okay, where's my brain? Today I fried my brain. I had to deal with some business stuff and I had to deal with schooling. And by the time I was done with the schooling, I closed my computer and I forget what it was that my daughter asked me, but I did not know the answer. I was just like, I can't think right now. Just let me breathe for a moment.
It's hard doing all that. It's hard doing school.
It's very hard. It's a lot of work because like I said, it throws everything to you in like a 5-week course period. And I'm studying marine biology. So basically it's a lot of science. And anyone who knows science knows it's not the, quickest, easiest thing to do. So it's a lot of, I dreamt last night about climate change. I mean, this is these things are like going through my head. I had a dream that dealt with climate change. So, this stuff is going through my brain nonstop and it comes out whenever it feels like coming out, I guess.
That's how your brain works. It's a very powerful tool.
I'm like trying to sleep and my brain's going, what about climate change? What do you do about
I studied the brain for years. I've got a doctorate in counseling and I work on addiction recovery and I do a lot of my own personal research on people that I get to work with, just watching patterns, cycles, things like that. And the brain's very powerful. The brain can imagine so much. And I was, of course, when I come home from work about every evening, I get in my big chair and go to sleep before I eat dinner because I like to take naps. They said successful people don't take naps. I said, that's not true. Everybody needs a good nap every now and again. But I had a dream. I was watching some kind of cop TV show when I was asleep and had a dream that I was chasing after people and tasing them and arresting them and throwing them on the ground and stuff. So
it never shuts off. It's, always thinking something. And, But I'm like sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, this is my time to zone out, not think about school. But
Yeah, it's
my
hard.
brain had other ideas, so
It's hard to do, It's and it gets harder, I think, as you get older because you got so much other things going on, and now it's no longer brick and mortar concrete buildings that you go to. Everything's done online. It's all online schooling. So you don't have the experience of being in the classroom with your mates, your classmates, and being there with the teacher and hearing the lecture. Now you watch the lecture on video, and then you do your check-ins, and then you do your quizzes, and I think it's interesting how the quizzes are proctored. Now they watch you on video take the test. Do they do that where you go to school at, Becky?
No, luckily not.
Oh, thank God. That makes me so nervous. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
I'm not a good test subject, so to say. I never like I can do well on tests, but if I know that someone's watching me or if I'm being timed, I will bomb it. I will. I always did horrible on SATs and things like that because I knew I was being timed, and it caused me to panic. I'm fine as long as I can take my time and I'm not being watched. I can ace tests, no problems, as long as those things are happening. But if I'm being timed or watched, yeah, I'm gonna blow it. Only because I go into that panic mode.
Didn't Rockwell sing about that in the 80s? How come I feel like somebody's watching me?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
is
I
got
so
no
have enough
privacy.
that going on from time to time when I have things following me home. So
Yeah,
Do
you
you
got that
want
right.
to end up in a place like California or Florida where there's water someday? 'Cause I know how much you love the ocean, and I know that you love Disneyland and things.
yes.
Is that somewhere you think with that goal to move out of Arizona?
You know, I've lived in Arizona more than any other state in my life, and I've lived in a couple other states. I'm from Ohio. I've also lived in the Tennessee and Kentucky area, but in Arizona, I've been here the longest. But the one thing that I do miss is water. I am a water sign. I'm a Cancer. Even under the Chinese zodiac, I'm a water buffalo, so I am a water sign. I love the water. I hate that Arizona has no water really. We do not have that oceanfront property. I wish we did. But I wanted to move to Florida. California is a little too, let's say, overcrowded, and not the economy I want. I love Disneyland. Yes, I do. But Florida has Disney World. But
There you go.
my husband, he's originally from Mississippi. So we've talked about going to where he's originally from, which is Biloxi, Mississippi. And there is an aquarium there. There is an ocean nearby. New Orleans is like an hour and a half away, and Disney World is about an 8-hour drive. So I was like, I can go for that.
That's
Yes,
not
I've researched it.
Yeah, Biloxi Beach down in Mississippi is nice. And my uncle was stationed there during Vietnam. And then they cut his orders and they sent him to Bangor, Maine. Can you imagine going from Biloxi Beach, Mississippi to Bangor, Maine? He must have really done something wrong. I'm like, he must really not liked you.
Yeah, when
I've
Will
never
mentioned going there, I researched it. So, and the weather doesn't get too cold because I cannot handle the cold anymore. So,
I'm done with the cold. It was 70 degrees on Sunday. Yesterday we had snow. Today we had ice. It took me 1 hour to travel 2 miles today. The highway was stopped, standstill.
oh no.
And I am so ready. My youngest son, he turns 18 next month. And I'm ready just to sell my truck, get a little RV and travel, and just travel the country, minister in the gospel, go in different places. Because we can. Our oldest boy, he does his own thing. He's probably getting ready to go to police academy anyway. So I feel like it's time for me to get out and really get back into doing what I was doing. And I thought about getting one of them great big tents, like a big circus tent, and going out and just traveling the country and doing
Yeah.
deliverance ministry and having mass exorcisms. Just a great big ministry of deliverance. And um, I'm going to head out that way this year. I'm going to go see Joe and Mercedes, and we'll stop by
Yay!
and see you because I got to go to California. Archbishop said I got stuff for you out here. You got to pick up in person. So looks like I'm going to be
Oh,
driving to California this year probably. So But
Yay.
I want to live in the, you know where I want to live? I want to live in Parham, Nevada, where Art Bell lived, right out there in the middle of the desert where you can walk out and see all the stars and see all the UFOs and all the beauty that this world has. Right here in this little place I live, it's nice, but there's too many street lights and there's too many people. It's all crowded. You can reach out and touch the person that lives next door to you, and I don't like that. I'm
Yeah.
living in the city, but I'd rather be out in the middle of nowhere and have me a cattle ranch out in the desert close to Area 51, uh, so I can be out and cross over in Area 51 just to give the camo dudes a hard time. Now, camo dudes, if you're watching, I'm just joking.
Well, you can come out here and because we're out in the desert and we're out in the middle of nowhere, aren't we, Becky?
Yes,
Well,
you
how about we
definitely are.
go to Area 51 when I come out?
Yeah.
What do you say? What do you
It's
say,
a lot
Becky?
farther, but I would, yeah, that would be, it's, I don't know.
Just to go out there and look at the signs and take pictures in front of it, go to the little alien and just it'd be awesome.
And if there happens to be aliens, you can beg them to take you off this planet.
Well, they would probably bring me back. They would say, "Man, this guy's annoying," and I can't help it. I've got ADHD. I just can't help it, and I'm not medicated, so I'm too much to handle in the morning time, bouncing off the walls. That's why when I teach groups every morning, people are like, "Whoa, this guy's off the hinge."
Well, Becky, what about now that we brought up aliens and stuff, have you had any experiences with phenomenon like that, like, and even captured anything like that, or has it mainly just been ghosts and things?
I haven't captured anything. What I have had has been just personal experiences that, I really don't know if it was for real, my imagination or what. But when I was a kid, I do remember being outside, because back in those days we played outside nonstop. You didn't go in until, it was dark. I
Yeah.
was outside playing. I remember looking up, seeing a UFO, and then I don't remember anything except being back in the house. That's all I remember of that. And then there's another time, as I was older, I do recall being in my bed sleeping and having a bright light and feeling like I was being like pulled somewhere, but then I don't remember anything else.
So you
So
lost track
I
of
don't know.
time.
Yeah, and I know that that's part of what they say happens. But I mean, was I dreaming it? Was it my imagination? I don't know. But I do believe that there are, alien life forms. I have no problems with them. I think they should, come and, take some of us off this planet because this planet's going insane. And I would have no problem living on another planet as long as there's Disney.
What if it was Planet Disney and that's all that it
Oh, I
was? And Mickey
come
Mouse
get
was the
it right now.
president.
Come on.
Donald Duck was the secretary. We don't want to make him Secretary of Defense. Who can we make? We can
Donald
make
Duck
some.
has a temper. Yeah, we got to be careful
Yeah.
with that one. Even though he's
We-
my favorite, he does have a temper. Yeah, if they have Disney, I have no problem leaving. Yeah.
Well, they've been visiting here for years and years and years, and thousands of years. I mean, there's pictographs and hieroglyphics and paintings on walls that depict aliens and spacecrafts back in ancient Egypt.
Right.
And they've always been more technologically advanced than we are. So, I've had the privilege of seeing many different crafts, and I'll never forget my dad. My dad's real hardcore, and no, I don't believe in nothing like that. He told me, but during COVID, we seen UFOs, and he started to believe a little bit. And then one day he came home and he said, I was driving down the road and I seen that light that you and I saw in the night, but I seen it during the day. And he said, when it turned sideways, it looked like something you'd see off Star Wars. He said it was an actual ship. And so, he believes what he saw to be real. And I believe that your experiences are real too. Even if you felt like you was in a dream state, we don't know what kind of technology they have. Maybe they can put you to sleep or make you feel that way. Maybe like an anesthesia.
Yeah, who knows? There's also one that happened just a couple of years ago here in Tucson where a bunch of people reported seeing like the A formation of like the UFOs. And I saw that.
I did too.
Yeah, I saw that too. So I don't know. And then there's another time where they were like spread out on like each corner. So I don't know. But I do have a little alien tattoo even. So, I believe. My ghost and my alien, I believe.
Awesome. That'd be awesome for you to do like some kind of a lecture series out there like that. Because I remember years ago, they used to let people come and lecture at the little alien, that little restaurant type thing. Wouldn't it be cool if we could all go out there and gather out there and we could all do talks and share our knowledge and research and promote our books and promote our work. See, I would love to do something like that.
We can all, I mean, like, I think that's what we're kind of, I've been thinking about, originally I wanted to make this property something where people could come out, but then it got so scary here that I was like, there's no way we can have people come out, especially when Becky was out here. Like, this was the hub. So, I mean, like, I'm like, oh my God, we can't, like, and then Tristan with his issues. And so, but it seems to be like, I'm feeling like maybe it is a place where we could bring people in now, maybe eventually could have a more of a hub thing. So, I mean, that's a possible, but Becky and I are both going to be this is a new Paracon in Oracle, and I had the dates completely wrong. I was saying May, but it's April 24th, Joshua.
25th.
And so
25th.
I guess is it the 25th? Yeah, I know. It's one of
One
those.
of those days. One of those days.
It's not in May, but it's going to be in Oracle, and Oracle is about, I don't know, Becky's like an hour, 45 minutes, something. It's not too
Yeah.
far, and it's very historic, amazing. I love that town. In fact, we were looking there when we were told to leave here. That is one of the places I actually went and looked at land in Oracle to see if we could just move over there, and I found a really neat property, but it was haunted. I was like, there's this freaking spirit in there. So I'm like, whenever we go, it's going to be haunted. So we didn't, and besides, we couldn't move. But I think that could be something that would build up, and maybe when you come down, maybe you could be a part of that, Joshua. When we find out when you're traveling, there'll be things we could get you in.
That'd be awesome. I would really enjoy that. And, eventually I'd like to, because Jason had the idea of taking defeating the demonic on the road, and
Yeah.
I don't think we would use that name because that's Jason's name, and but I would love to be able to see the unseen realm, be able to travel to different locations, different cities, maybe one event a year, two events a year, maybe more if we had the resources, but to be able just to uh, get out there and let people know that we're here. There's still people that don't know about what we do, and even like with Becky, there's still people that are unfamiliar with what she does. I mean, maybe over in that part of the country, but over here in the woodlands, over here in the eastern part of the country, we need to get Becky famous. We need to make Becky famous over here, and I know
Yeah, I,
she's.
I agree. I agree, because I mean, there's not a lot of like over here. I think everyone knows who she is.
Mhm.
Paranormal teams, and
I'm like,
and
no.
well, they do, and then she was even part of when like the ghost hunters, like she knows them, or she used to interview some of those people. So it has been difficult because they did come in, and I believe Becky and I think we saw this. I heard it. It was happening on the East Coast. How they were taking over from our friend on that one paranormal show with the two guys, those two sweet guys. They were talking about how they were taking over the paranormal houses, the
Yeah,
haunted
yeah.
houses, and then the big companies come in, and that's what they did. They came
Yeah.
here, and Becky was the only one here, really, that was doing this. And she also bought the tour in Bisbee. So it was originally a tour in Bisbee, right? Or
No,
that
what it was the person that originally owned this tour has the one in Bisbee. I never
okay.
had anything to do with Bisbee.
Okay.
So she had this tour, and again, it wasn't something I went looking for. I wanted to do a ghost hunt because I was curious, and when I went to do the ghost hunt, I connected with her, and that's how I found out about the Tucson Ghost Tour, and I asked her why it wasn't running, and she said she had no one to run it. So, and this was back in 2013. I volunteered to work for her. That's how it all started. And she told me she didn't want an employee. She didn't want to run it at all anymore. So she sold me the rights to it. But as soon as I started running it, within a month, I had so many contacts that I ended up shutting it down and rewriting it and making it my own. And then I've been able to basically investigate I think almost every single building on my tour. I think there's maybe only one that I haven't investigated. So they're all personal stories. And the one that I haven't investigated, I was personally told the stories. So nothing on my tour is AI or made up. They're all true firsthand experiences or told to us by the person who had them. The other tour companies that are here, they're either made up or AI, unfortunately.
Well, see,
So,
that's why yours is still. I mean, yours is still the classic.
yes,
Okay, and it
we were the first, even though I didn't own it back when she had it. It has been the oldest ghost tour in Tucson. And when I started it in 2013, I basically was the only ghost tour here.
do you still do so like you investigated with us and that was a very do you still get a lot of calls for that or did you have to does it have periods of time where you're not so much an investigator compared to
Um,
sometimes you're more busy?
you know, I love investigating and I want to investigate. Um, for residential cases, I don't get contacted as much anymore. And when I do, and I send out my little form, people don't bother to fill it out. So I don't investigate because I need that form to investigate. So we do a lot more businesses than anything else. And we kind of have to go and search for them. And lately, with me being so busy, I haven't been able to search for new places to investigate. So we haven't been investigating as much as I would want to. I love investigating. I love, going into a dark place and talking to myself. And seeing what's there. I have a passion for that. I love doing that. I love trying to discover new things. Love trying to come up with new ways to communicate with them. But unfortunately, yeah, I don't get to do it as much as I used to.
Well, I'm looking forward to having our event on the 25th of April. It's going to be fun.
Now,
And
you two are close to each other, right? You all live close to each other.
well, by the time she comes out here, and I realize so it's usually her driving out here because I'm like, she lives far, but she'll come here to. But she lives over there by the Air Force base, kind of in that area. So
Yeah,
that's about an hour. So it takes her about an hour to get here. But that's the way Tucson is. So if
yeah,
anywhere out here where we are, if you go to Tucson, it's going to take you 20 minutes to get to the freeway. Then you go, so no matter what, it takes you an
yeah.
hour, you know.
Yeah, we're spread out. Tucson is very spread out, and if you go from one side of town to the other, you're looking at 45 minutes, to an hour, depending on where you go. So
But we're definitely in the same area. So we are
we
in the
can meet up if needed. Yeah,
we wanted
That's good.
to, but it is nice and she has a great team. Like she was talking about last night how there's only like I think there's like 5 or 6 right now, but
yeah,
there was times when the Joshua when they first came out here, it was like a television studio had come out here and the television studio had come out here, right? The Dead Files had come out here. But when Becky came out here, they had my house, the whole living room was filled with equipment all outside in the front yard. The others, they had the whole team and those teams really that team kept coming out bigger, different teams, but that one time it was all kinds of lights and people they were everywhere. So it was uh quite a assortment of people and Becky ran it. I mean she's really good at that. I mean she is like good at running these teams. So it's really something you're good at. It really is.
I try. I try, and I try to do it without being too bossy. But yeah,
Yeah, I didn't see you being bossy or anything. It was just like, but but she
Sometimes,
did.
sometimes you have to be though to get things done. Sometimes you have to be kind of more forceful and tell them, okay, you got to do this, and you got to do this now. Like we were talking before the show, sometimes you just, there's some people that you have to kind of persuade to do certain things, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but for the most part, right now my team's solid and good. Could we use a few more members? Yeah. But we're not doing a lot of investigating right now anyway, so it kind of equals out right now. But once we, get back into investigating more, we definitely could use more members.
Yeah, but it's good because right now you can focus a little on the schooling, and you might just need that. You know, the high above is saying, let's let her focus on this for a while and get her feet in that and get going, and then the other will come along. I mean, that's the book came, and then you'll write another book, and it's kind of the way life is, right?
Yeah. And
Kind of like,
before I did this paranormal stuff, I was in school. I was taking wildlife conservation. And so the paranormal pulled me out of that. And then when things, slow down, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back. And instead of doing the wildlife conservation, I went after what I truly desired, which was marine biology. Because now my kids are getting to that age to where by the time I graduate, I can move. I have no more custody battles to worry about. Bailey's a freshman in high school, so by the time I graduate, she'll be graduated. So if she wants to come with us, she can. If not, she can stay here in Tucson. So it's at that point where I can move away once I graduate. Before I couldn't, because I had, custody issues that I had to deal with and everything else, but I don't have those issues now. So I'm free to go when I need to.
yay.
Yeah.
Always
Good.
good.
I was thinking of something, but I wanted Joshua to say something because I know he's thinking about something.
I'm enjoying the conversation. I mean, that's really fascinating. Everything we're
What?
talking about. I think,
One, go ahead.
and I was just thinking about how so many people from so far away in so many different parts of the country and all over the world are starting to come together and collaborate. Collaboration's key. Communication is the most important thing that we have. It's the most important ability to reveal our heart, our mind, our desires, our passions, and to voice the things that disturb us or upset us, and setting boundaries, healthy boundaries, being able to work within them boundaries and still work with other people. And, like Becky said, you have to have somebody to coach people, someone to be a supervisor, someone to be a chief. Not everybody can be chiefs. And, I think a lot of times there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians, so to speak. And that's one thing that I've learned with Archbishop, that, while you can delegate authority, sometimes you have to be that authority, because there's a certain criteria that you have and a certain thing that you want to do, certain things you want to see happen. And when you organize something to a specific way, you want it to be done that way. And, nothing wrong with being organized. Everything that I do, I like to be organized. And so I applaud you on that. And I think that's the safest way to do things, especially when we're doing this type of work, because, you're not just dealing with just houses and just haunted properties. You're dealing with people who are afraid, people that don't have answers, people that are scared, people that are fearful, people that don't know whether or not they're going to survive the night, and the approach, that humanistic approach of being able to approach people where they're at and love them and help them and have a desire to help them is one of the most important things. And that's why I love connecting with different people who have different approaches: a scientific approach, paranormal investigative approach, religious approach, a non-religious approach, a psychological approach. I think all those things coming together, build a stronger unit, a stronger team of people that can provide answers for people, not just one group. It's kind of like the hand saying, well, I'm the whole body. Well, how ignorant is that? You know what I mean? We have to have the whole body to make a whole person. And I feel like that in the paranormal community, we have to have each other to make a whole team. And, I think it's wonderful that we have this opportunity for all of us to gather here tonight, and be able to talk about these things. Because for years, there was a war going on both sides. And I found that we need each other more now than we ever did because of all the big corporations and all the people that's making all the money hand over and fist and doing it just for the sake of Hollywood or the sake of wanting to be a celebrity and not for the sake of really wanting to help people. And I think that when you find genuine people, regardless of our differences, we need to major in the things that we have that connect us to this what we do, and the little things that we disagree about. Oh well, it shouldn't be something that separates us. Everybody has the opportunity to be their authentic self, and I think that's what's beautiful about what we're doing. Um,
One of the things, I know we're running out of time, but I was thinking,
sorry.
both of you, like well, with the unseen realm, with Archbishop and the Exorcist, and Becky, with what you're doing with your team, bringing all the people together on the team. Both of these situations, people have to do this for pure love of what you're doing, because there's
Yeah,
no money, because you're not paying. You Becky doesn't take any money to do that. I try to pay her something when I was like, I'm gonna send you some money or give you some money. But she doesn't really take money to come all the way out here, set everything up, and do all the stuff. And the same goes with the Order of Exorcists. There's no money. And I think you really have to have the people that are dedicated to the job, just like what we do for Unseen Realm. Like we're doing it, Des and I, and you too, because we are dedicated to the mission. But
absolutely.
a lot of people aren't going to be dedicated like Becky. There's a lot of people that probably are like, well, do we ever get paid to do all this?
Yeah, sometimes when I have new people come on that want to be paranormal investigators, and the minute I say there's no pay, they're like, oh, never mind. I think they're going to get paid. And I'm like, how are you going to get paid for this? We don't charge people. How am I going to pay you? Um, and then you get the question of, why don't you charge people? Well, because in all honesty, you cannot prove the paranormal exists. You cannot prove that your findings are true. What you're giving them is basically your beliefs, your findings of what you believe to be true. And sometimes you don't find anything. So charging someone to go out there and find nothing, and I just feel is wrong. It's wrong. I always preach. I've been preaching for the past 13 years. Never pay for a paranormal team. We had a team in Tucson one time that was saying that they could clear your house of demons, and they didn't even have to go out there, and they charged like $3,000. And I'm like, don't pay this stuff. I'm like, don't pay. And research your paranormal team. That is so important, because there is a so-called team out here that they're not a team. They just throw friends together and go out and investigate. So they're not trained. I train all my people, and Mercedes, this because I've trained them at your house.
Yeah.
I train them, what to look for, how to debunk. So look into your paranormal teams and don't ever pay for them. That's a big thing that I preach about, along with always shopping local. Those are the things that I get up on a little soapbox about and preach more about. That's my main thing.
You heard about the exorcist from Texas, did you?
Mm-mm.
He charged people $3,000 a session,
Oh,
and
wow.
the people wrote him a bad check, and they said they was going to make it good. And he said, "Well, you know what? When you signed the agreement, you saw what the stipulations was. If you do not pay for the services, you get repossessed." Sorry,
Wow.
I had
Oh,
to do
you had me on that, and I'm like, oh, that's a big one. That's
it.
Becky, is there anything you'd like to say before we close the show? And would you like to share your information about how people can find you too?
Yes. So again, that little soapbox thing. Whenever you're looking for a paranormal team, don't ever pay. Look into the team themselves. Make sure they're very clear on who's on the team. I have all my team members up on my website so everyone knows who is involved. When it comes to ghost tours and ghost hunts, always shop local. They put their hearts and soul into these, and they care about the community, and the money goes back to the community. You can find all my information at TucsonGhostCompany.com. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all under Becky McKiddy-Gydesen or Tucson Ghost CO. And then my new book that I'm very excited about is on Amazon. You just have to look up I'm Paranormal or my name, and it will come up.
Yay! We're so excited for you, and we're waiting on Bishop Joshua's books are going to come out one of these days too, right, Joshua?
Yeah. You know, I tell you what happened to me. I got all hooked up in this social media craze, in TikTok, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and we have had over the last 90 days, we've had over, well, probably about 150,000 views.
Wow.
On our little TikTok reels. And we get about, I don't know, sometimes we get 15, 20,000 a month. So, and the age group that we're reaching is 18 to 24. So I've kind of just really been focused on that. And I need to get back to
good.
I love it. I mean, a minute, 30 seconds. It's hard to believe what you can say in a minute and 30 seconds. It's just, you know, I like to talk, as you all know. You can say a whole lot by saying a whole less.
But that's inspiring. You even got me on. Both of you guys got me on TikTok because I wasn't on there. So every so often I'll trying to get on there. But I know Becky does, and you're doing this. So I'm like, little bit of TikTok, a little bit. So that's good. Well, Becky, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
And I love all of that you said today, and we hope to have you back, right, Joshua? We're gonna have
Oh yeah, the door's always open. Anytime you want to come on, come hang out with us. Come on.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And thank you to Stan Fikes, our amazing producer.
And you, Stan.
We've got Becky's show. Becky's got Everything Under the Moon, and she's got her show, I think, every 2 weeks.
Yes, every other Monday.
Every other Monday on the W.E.B. Radio Network. So it was on yesterday. So watch that if you haven't, watched it. Watch that too. Awesome. And have a great night, everybody. Right? Good night.
We love you all.
Good night.